Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the week of August 17th through 23rd. I must apologize. I did not publish the weekly reading on time last week. I thought I had it scheduled to be published, and it was not. So I published it on Wednesday. I'm really sorry about that. That was not my intention. It's up now if you guys want to take a look at it. I know it's for last week, but sometimes these energies blend. Why is this all kind of messed up here? Here we go. Straightening it out for you guys. Sometimes they mesh into the week, so you're more than welcome to check it out last week. See if it maybe resonates this week, but this is this week, and it will be published Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So. All right, guys, you know what to do. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies and the influences of the week. Comments down below. I always appreciate them. I always answer them. And same 4 decks that you guys are familiar with, shuffled and ready to go. And they're in an order that feels intuitively aligned for me. I think that's it, guys. Let's get into it. All right, what do we need? Gifts from God. Oh, okay. We angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. Okay. Gifts from God. Okay, so we can look at this actually 2 ways. I'm definitely feeling it's going to be the latter, so let me explain first. It could be that universe, God, source energy, whatever you want to call it, Creator, is going to bless you soon. Okay, so you need to open your arms and be ready for that blessing, ready to receive those blessings. Or it could be saying that, which again, I feel like it's more of the latter, not to say maybe it's the former. Some of you guys are out there being like, oh gosh, I really want to be blessed. I am ready. You have to, your gifts, your talents, your special way that you do certain things is needed to be used. Okay, so it's under need. So need is always about what our soul is calling for us to do. So it's basically saying like we need to start utilizing our natural gifts and talents more. Whether that's at work, whether that's just every day, whether that's through your personal life. You maybe have put this stuff on the back burner. Maybe you haven't been feeling like yourself. I could resonate with that for sure. But it's saying that, this week is really to start putting your natural gifts and talents into play. And you need to start doing that because there are only certain things that you're good at opposed to somebody else, right? So start using the things that come naturally to you, the gifts and the skills that come naturally to you. Okay, action needed. Message in a bottle. Okay, so this is about communication. So Spirit is asking us to communicate, and not just to communicate, but communicate and self-express yourself clearly, articulately, directly, healthfully. Okay, so it's under action needed. So this is as opposed to kind of this, where our soul is calling for us to do that. So maybe, we don't exactly put into action our gifts this week necessarily, but we really need it, right? Our soul is calling for us to do it. What we are putting into action is, again, clearer communication, clearer self-expression, expressing yourselves a lot more. Maybe this is the week that you tell somebody, in clear communication how something they're doing is bothering you, or how you actually feel about someone or something or a situation. Maybe you've been trying to ask for a raise. This could be anywhere in your life, but clear and direct communication is what this card is calling for. Not too much more I can say there. Issue. Intensity. Okay. I laugh because the intensity card is coming through intensely. Okay, so what do we have issues with? Intensity. All right, so things might be tense. Things might be intense. So maybe it has something to do with the clear communication. Maybe it's something, maybe if you're being direct with somebody, it creates tension in some way. Or it's a very intense conversation. Maybe it's a conversation that you didn't really want to have, or is a really difficult one. Because I definitely get that vibe for sure. So we're not super comfortable with the tension. We're not loving it, but I feel like it has had to happen for a long time, and I feel like you guys will get through it because you get through everything. So it might make you uncomfortable. That's the issue. You're uncomfortable with the intensity. You can cut the tension with a knife. Maybe it doesn't have to do with that. Maybe there's just a random tense situation at work, and it's very uncomfortable. But I'm definitely getting a very uncomfy feeling from this for sure. So something intense might happen and just make you feel uncomfortable. That's really the gist of what this energy is saying here. Challenge. Detective, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. Okay, so you're having challenges figuring something out, seeking out the truth. Okay, so if you're trying to solve something, if you're, like, for example, if you're an actual detective, this goes to people that are actual detectives, or your actual job is to figure something out, you just might be having challenges this week. Maybe you can't figure something out at work. If you're an actual detective, maybe you can't figure out who did some kind of crime. I know that's oddly specific, but that's the thing that I think of with detective, obviously. But you can be trying to figure something, like it could be just like a work problem, right? It could be a personal problem too. It doesn't have to be work. Trying to figure out maybe logistics for something and it's just not clicking for you, or it just doesn't come easy to you. So it's very challenging trying to figure something out, and I think it really frustrates you. So we have an uncomfortable feeling and then a frustration feeling. So it's those are definitely both obstacles that you'll be experiencing this week. But you'll figure it out eventually. Just maybe this week, if you're trying to solve something by the end of the week, solve a mystery, whatever it is, I wouldn't bet on it. Let's just put it that way. All right, change. You know what to do. Okay, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Okay, so this is where claircognizance comes in. You guys know what claircognizance is. It's our inner knowing. And so basically it's saying you know what to do. So basically it's your inner knowing. And so that's changing. So you're definitely getting more clarity this week, and it's coming through that claircognizance. It's coming through about what you know that you have to do. And maybe you've known what you've had to do for a long time, but you've just been kind of ignoring it, and it becomes clear this week. But it's that inner knowing that comes through. You have no actual evidence that this is something that you need to do, but you just know that it's right for you, and you know exactly what you need to do in a particular situation. So that's what's changing. So self-assurance, I would say, is changing. Like you're very self-assured about what your next move is or what you have to do for a particular thing. But you definitely solidify something. It becomes clear. So clarity for sure. Focus, observer. Okay, so it's saying your priority this week is to maybe not necessarily act, but kind of observe something. So if you've been wanting to try something new, maybe this is an indication saying like you need to just observe it a little bit more. You don't necessarily have to jump right into it. Maybe you need to read up more on it. Maybe you need to train a little bit more or watch people more, that do it. Like maybe you're trying to learn how to ski. I don't know. Instead of actually getting out there and getting on the slopes, maybe you need to watch more YouTube videos. Maybe you need to do more training. Sorry guys, I'm not a skier. So whatever you need to do to get more prepared for that. It definitely feels like it's saying like more preparation for whatever this is. But be more of the observer, not necessarily the doer quite yet, at least for this week. All right, what do we got going on? What do we need to reflect on? Intuition, okay. What a great one to reflect on. So basically think about, so it's asking us to reflect on our intuition. So think about where do you feel your intuition? How do you feel it? What does the claircognizance feel like? How has your intuition saved you in the past? How is it helping you go forward with your future? There's so many things that you can talk about with intuition. I mean, we could talk for hours on it, but it's basically kind of asking you to reflect on different aspects of it. Of how does it come through strongest for you? When are you clearest? What does it feel like in your body? And like I said, how it maybe has helped you in the past, how it will help you in the future, that kind of stuff. I like that. Responsibilities, we have visionary but in the shadow, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. Okay. Okay, so it's your responsibilities. All right, that's a good one to get, because this is basically reminding you that it's your responsibility not to sell out. I don't know if that's like too direct, but that's my take as a direct communication. But don't dumb your vision down to fit in. If you have an idea for something, and like maybe you have I can't speak. Maybe you have an idea for like an invention, and somebody wants to, and maybe you have a patent for it, and somebody wants to, buy your patent. You lowball them, they lowball you. They lowball you. Do not sell it for chump change just because you need the money. Sell it for what you actually feel it's worth. Like that kind of thing. So it's basically saying, like, don't sell yourself short. Your innovations, your visions, your creativity, don't dumb them down. Don't sell them to the highest bidder just because. Make sure you sell it for what it's worth. Make sure they're taken seriously. And this is also another way to say, like, if you have like a big dream or a big vision for your life, don't dumb it down because you feel like, maybe, you feel like you can't achieve it. That has to do with like your self-worth, but like other people coming in and saying like, oh no, you can't do that, and then you listening to them, that's not, we don't want you to do that. The spirit is saying like, no, that's your responsibility is to hold your vision, your grand vision, your visionary, it's not just vision, it's just also like your creativity, your ideas, your inventions, all of those things. Like, don't dumb them down. Don't it's your responsibility to hold them in high regard, and don't sell out, essentially, too, like I mentioned earlier. So hopefully that makes sense. But all right, money, finances, and career. We have leadership. Oh no, sorry. I thought this was the leadership card. My bad. It's brilliant idea, actually. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Okay, so this is coming off the vision, what I just talked about being a visionary, okay? So you have an idea that you're sitting on. Do not, like I said, do not dumb it down. Do not sell it short. And this is coming up brilliant ideas in money and career and finances. So I think it has something to do with that category. Again, could be other things, but it really could be in that category. But you have a great idea to put your ideas into money, finances, and career and make something of it. Okay, so I talked about patents, inventions, visionary ideas, maybe for a company or a product or a service of some kind. So there is one card in the deck, the building blocks, that always kind of talks about entrepreneurship. The reading's not over yet, it's not up yet, but I would say these two combined really connect with that. So if you're an entrepreneur or you've been thinking of starting something, then this is saying this is a great week to get it going. Like that, you're really aligned with that, because your brilliant idea can bring in money, extra money, finances, and can make things lucrative for you. Even if you're not an entrepreneur and it's a brilliant idea with something at work for like to make things better at work, share your ideas there if you feel that you can trust them. But yeah, there's something here where the way your mind works, I guess I'll say it this way, the way your mind works could really improve your career and your money situation. So I really like these two cards with the gifts from God that we have right here, because it kind of feels like you're utilizing your natural, the way that you see things, the way that you envision things, and you're utilizing it towards work. So I feel like they could be connected for sure. Yeah, I really like it there. That's a good placement for that card. So yeah, go with that idea. Even if you like, I hope you don't think it's stupid. It's not stupid. That's another thing I feel like you guys need to hear. That idea is not stupid. And also, like, coming off these two, just be careful who you share it with as well. Okay, I will say that. Because like I said, somebody could crush your vision. Somebody could, like, say it's stupid or whatever. It's not stupid, but people have their opinions. Yeah, I think that's it. I like these two together. That they're really good. Okay, what's a surprise? Happy. Oh, what a nice surprise. That's a good surprise, isn't it? Moments of happiness, a moment of pure happiness, of joy. It's coming under surprise, maybe because maybe you've been more pessimistic lately. Maybe you've been kind of down in the dumps. Maybe you've been depressed. Maybe you've been upset. So yeah, definitely things are looking up, it seems. And a moment of happiness, or moments of happiness. So we love that. Friends. Crystal quartz focus. Okay, so focus on your friends. Make them a focus this week. There's not too much more I can say there, but if somebody needs you, I would, call them. Be there for them. Show up for them. Make them a priority. That kind of thing. Romantic connection. We have alchemist in the shadow. Misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. Misuse of the power. Okay, misuse of the power and knowledge. Sorry guys, I'm trying to apply this. So I guess we can kind of say more so it's about not learning from what we've been going through. That would be the shadow of the alchemist, is that we are not understanding, we are not learning from either the mistakes we've made or the things that have happened, and it's under romantic connection. So it definitely does feel like we're not understanding why we're experiencing what we're experiencing within our romantic relationships. Like, I definitely feel like we're not, like, Spirit is saying, like, you're not getting it. Like, you're not applying, you're not able to connect the dots. Maybe you're not able to see patterns. You're not understanding why something is continuously happening to you. You're not really understanding this, like, as a spiritual practice. That's what it's saying to me. So it might be frustrating with you if there is another type of, like, if you've, like, I definitely feel like it might be frustrating. There's that frustrating word again. And maybe it has something to do with detective. That's the last time I used the frustration, right? You can't figure something out. So yeah, maybe that, yeah, it kind of applies. Like, maybe you can't figure out why you get so angry at your partner about something, but you're not seeing how, when I say connect the dots, I mean, like, finding the meaning in the suffering, or finding the meaning in the patterns. Like, you're not picking those things up necessarily, or you can't necessarily figure them out yet, which is okay. Nobody's calling you dumb or anything like that. It's just, it reveals itself at certain times. Like, you get that aha moment when you're ready for it, and I feel like it might be a little frustrating for you. But yeah, it definitely feels like something gets triggered in our romantic relationships this week, where we're not necessarily really sure how it all fits together, or really understand why it's happening, like that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely frustrating energy in this area of life. Ooh, excuse me. I just burped. Okay. Important. Passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Hello. It's important to have passion for certain things. It's important to be passionate. It's important to follow things that make you feel alive. That is definitely directly related to the gifts from God, okay? So that feels like a big theme this week, is that we're going to start wanting to do, be called more towards things that make us feel more alive, that make us feel more passionate, that make us feel, more purposeful, those things. So something is kind of like waking up within us, I will say. Health and wellness. We have deep knowing. All right. We've got the double clear cognizance. You know what to do. So it came up in change, which means that we're now becoming a lot more clear in our lives, a lot more clarity. And now it's coming under health and wellness. So it could be specifically applied to this area of life. So you know what to do when it comes to health and wellness. So maybe you've been thinking about what you should do next. Maybe you've been thinking about going on a GLP-1, and this week you find the clarity to do so, that kind of thing. Maybe you've been thinking about going back to therapy. Maybe you've been thinking about working with a spiritual teacher. Like whatever health and wellness journey you're on, you finally know what to do and you have clarity about what your next move is. We like that, okay? We love the clear cognizance. All right, next and last, we have overall outcome ancestors. Okay, so that's an interesting one to end with. So this usually means that we're talking about family, we're talking about our lineage, we're talking about our background. It's a little, I don't feel like connect, usually it connects maybe all, maybe it could connect in this way where maybe we need to, maybe there's something in our past that's kind of connected to what we want to do that makes us feel more passionate. But, let me see if I can word this correctly. Maybe we find out something about our past that makes it, helps us realize, revives maybe an old passion project. And maybe it has something to do with maybe not necessarily your ancestors, but maybe something from the past, like maybe something that you wanted to do when you were a kid, or something that your parents used to tell you when you were a kid that you were good at. But also could be like maybe you find out like your grandfather was like, he made I don't know, maybe he made clothes, maybe, and maybe that's something that you're also passionate with, and so it's connected there. But maybe not, just to detach from that a little bit. This in general just means like we are looking back at generations, and, could be looking at generational trauma passed down, but kind of like looking back at our family, maybe being appreciative for how far that we've come as well. So it could be like all of those things. And so usually to me, like the way that I read things, this spread is like towards the overall outcome to me is like more towards the end of the week, so it's into the weekend. So maybe you're spending a lot of time with family over that weekend. I don't think that's a holiday, right? No, it's a little too early for Labor Day here in the States, but yeah, maybe you're spending time with family or something, you find something out, or you get really triggered by family by the weekend or something like that. But yeah, but also again could apply to some of the themes here about thinking about going back in your family lineage, like somebody was who made clothes, now you want to make clothes, like patterns in that way for sure, of like what you were passionate about. Maybe you're getting into advocacy and like you find out that your great grandparents were also part of some cause or something like that, so it could be connected in that way. So yeah, I like that. It's interesting. If you guys, again, I always welcome comments. If you want to next weekend, towards the end of the week, or really understand what this energy is trying to say, put in the comments down below, because I would love to hear it. It doesn't necessarily apply to me right now, but like I said, I will let you know during the, if it comes up for me, I will also comment, is what I'm trying to say. All right, guys, I think that's it for me. I think that's it for me today. What else do I have to say? That's it. I think it's a pretty good week. A couple of the messages were really solidified here, a couple of times, a few times. So You know, it seems, you know, the themes are becoming more passionate about things, and also being more clear about things, which we like. So, all right, guys, have a good week. Bye.